The familiar tranquility of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue has been shattered by the relentless sounds of jackhammers and bulldozers. For weeks, the White House has echoed with the clamor of construction, drawing the attention of not just Washington insiders, but the entire nation. The East Wing, a symbol of presidential tradition and American history, is at the center of a storm, one that's as much about identity as it is about architecture. President Trump has initiated a sweeping and controversial renovation, ordering the demolition of the historic East Wing. In its place, he envisions a grand, opulent ballroom, one that will rival the world's most prestigious venues, designed to host state dinners, diplomatic galas, and gatherings of global leaders. The scale of the project is unprecedented, and the decision has sent shockwaves through the halls of power and preservation societies alike. The East Wing, constructed in 1942 during the Roosevelt administration, was more than just an architectural addition. It became the operational heart for First Ladies, a place where initiatives were launched and history quietly shaped. Over the decades, it has witnessed moments of both national celebration and private reflection, serving as a backdrop to the evolving role of women in the White House. Now, its demolition has ignited a fierce debate. Preservationists argue that tearing down the East Wing erases a vital chapter of American history, while supporters of the renovation claim that the White House must evolve to meet the demands of a modern presidency. The controversy has spilled into the streets, with protesters and passionate citizens voicing their opinions outside the gates, and pundits sparring on national television. Critics question the necessity and scale of such a massive addition, warning that the new ballroom could disrupt the delicate architectural balance that has defined the White House for generations. They worry that the new structure may overshadow the historic core, altering the iconic silhouette recognized around the world. Meanwhile, architects and planners pore over blueprints, debating how to blend innovation with tradition. At the heart of the controversy lies a fundamental question: who truly has the right to alter the people's house in such a dramatic way? Is it the privilege of each president to leave their mark, or does the White House belong to the American people, its legacy to be preserved for future generations? Tourists gather at the gates, some in awe, others in disbelief, as the debate rages on. While every president has made changes to the White House, from Truman's structural overhaul to Kennedy's elegant redecorations, this project is seen by many as a step beyond traditional presidential marks. It raises questions about the balance between honoring history and embracing progress, and whether this transformation is a bold vision or an irreversible loss. As the demolition continues and the new foundation is laid, the nation finds itself at a crossroads, torn between the promise of modernization and the fear of erasing irreplaceable heritage. The fate of the East Wing is more than a matter of bricks and mortar. It's a reflection of how America chooses to remember its past while building its future. Despite facing a steady stream of criticism from both political opponents and skeptical commentators, President Trump remains remarkably enthusiastic and steadfast about the ambitious ballroom project. His confidence is unwavering, and he continues to champion the idea with the same energy and conviction that first brought it to the public's attention. Trump's supporters see this as a testament to his resilience and his ability to push forward, even when the odds seem stacked against him. To Trump, the backlash is little more than partisan noise, a predictable reaction from those who have opposed his initiatives from the start. He dismisses the protests and heated debates as distractions, insisting that the true value of the project will become clear in time. In his view, the opposition is motivated more by political rivalry than by genuine concern for the nation's heritage or finances. Trump envisions the new ballroom as a transformative addition to the White House, one that will elevate America's global standing and provide a fitting venue for historic events. He often points to the grand ballrooms of other world capitals, arguing that the United States deserves a space of equal splendor and significance. For him, this project is not just about architecture, it's about creating a legacy that will define his presidency for generations to come. Drawing on his reputation as a successful businessman, Trump emphasizes that he is personally funding the project, using his own resources to ensure that taxpayers are not burdened. He frequently highlights his experience in real estate and construction, suggesting that his unique skill set makes him the ideal leader for such a monumental undertaking. By taking financial responsibility, he aims to silence critics who accuse him of misusing public funds. The official White House response has been to frame negative reactions as politically motivated attacks rather than legitimate cultural or fiscal concerns. Spokespeople argue that the project is in line with the nation's tradition of adapting and modernizing its most iconic buildings. They maintain that the ballroom will serve a vital diplomatic function, helping to strengthen America's relationships with allies and partners around the world. For President Trump, the ballroom is more than just a symbol, it's a practical tool for statecraft. He believes that hosting grand receptions and state dinners in a purpose-built space will enhance the country's ability to impress and influence foreign dignitaries. The new venue, he argues, will allow the United States to showcase its hospitality and leadership on the world stage in a way that matches its status as a global superpower. Trump's hands-on approach to the project, personally touring the construction site, reviewing blueprints, and meeting with workers, underscores his deep investment in its success. He is determined to leave a tangible, lasting imprint on the White House, one that future generations will associate with his vision and leadership. For Trump, the ballroom is not just a building, but a bold statement about American ambition and presidential legacy. The sudden demolition of the East Wing has ignited a firestorm of political opposition in Washington and across the country. As bulldozers and construction crews move in, the site of the White House under renovation has become a rallying point for critics of the Trump administration. The move is not just seen as a matter of architecture or aesthetics, but as a deeply symbolic act that has struck a nerve with many Americans, especially those on the left. The East Wing, long associated with the history and legacy of First Ladies, is now at the center of a heated national debate. Democratic lawmakers have been quick to voice their outrage, holding press conferences and joining protesters outside the White House gates. For them, the demolition is more than a construction project. It's a symbol of what they see as President Trump's ongoing disregard for the traditions and institutions that define American democracy. Many Democrats argue that the White House belongs to the people, not to any one president, and that such sweeping changes should not be made unilaterally. Prominent figures like Hillary Clinton have spoken out forcefully, reminding the public that the White House is a national treasure, not the personal property of whoever happens to occupy the Oval Office. Senator Mazie Hirono and other critics have taken to social media, warning that the destruction of the East Wing is an affront to the nation's shared history and a dangerous precedent for future administrations. For many, the project has become a powerful metaphor for what they see as President Trump's broader assault on democratic norms and values. Protesters have gathered with American flags and banners proclaiming the importance of democracy, while editorial headlines question whether the very foundations of the republic are being undermined. The debate has spilled out of Washington and into living rooms across the country, with Americans from all walks of life weighing in on what the White House truly represents. Critics are especially concerned about the loss of a space that has long celebrated the achievements of influential First Ladies. The East Wing has hosted countless historic events, receptions, and exhibits dedicated to women's history. Many fear that its demolition signals an erasure of the vital role women have played in shaping the nation's story, and that future generations may lose touch with this important legacy. At the heart of the controversy is a fundamental question: is the president merely a steward of the White House, entrusted with its care for a limited time, or does the office grant the authority to reshape it according to personal vision? This debate has played out on news panels and in the halls of Congress, with legal scholars and historians weighing in on the limits of executive power and the responsibilities of public office. For Democrats and many members of the public, the answer is clear. The White House is a public trust, a symbol of the nation's ideals and history, and should never be subject to the whims of any single occupant. As the debate rages on, the fate of the East Wing has become a touchstone for larger questions about democracy, history, and the meaning of American leadership. A key debate point is funding. Trump insists no taxpayer money is used, framing it as a gift to the nation. The project's cost, around $300 million, is covered by Trump and private donors. Donations are channeled through the Trust for the National Mall, raising transparency concerns. Critics worry about potential conflicts of interest with corporate donations. While private funding shields taxpayers, it raises ethical questions about corporate influence on public institutions. Preservationists are alarmed by the East Wing demolition, fearing it disrupts the White House's architectural harmony. The National Trust for Historic Preservation calls for a public review process. Critics argue the White House's exemption from preservation laws is misused for this project. The East Wing, built during WTW, was a significant historical piece, now erased. Preservationists worry about the precedent set for future administrations altering the White House without public review. The administration promises to salvage historical components from the East Wing. Items are documented and stored, with plans to incorporate them into the new ballroom or other White House areas. Critics remain skeptical, arguing artifacts lose context outside their original setting. The involvement of preservation bodies is complex, balancing their mission with maintaining relations with the administration. The East Wing project is not Trump's first White House alteration. Previous changes include the Rose Garden redesign and updates to the Oval Office. These projects reflect Trump's preference for a grandiose style, breaking with tradition. Supporters see these changes as necessary updates, while critics argue they erode historical continuity. The East Wing demolition is the most significant step in reshaping the White House. As of October 23, 2025, the East Wing demolition is rapidly progressing. The debate is as loud as the construction, with Trump and allies championing the project as a visionary upgrade. Critics argue it's a sacrifice of history for vanity, leveraging platforms to voice outrage. Organizations like the National Park Service navigate a delicate balance, contributing expertise while upholding preservation missions. Trump remains confident, casting himself as a builder challenging the establishment. The East Wing debate is about more than architecture. It's about the White House's symbolism. For over 200 years, it has represented American democracy, continuity, and stability. The controversy raises questions about preserving symbols versus modernization. Trump argues for evolution, enhancing prestige, while critics value historical integrity. The project is a flashpoint in a cultural conversation about honoring the past while building the future. The new ballroom will stand as a testament to this debate and the enduring question of defining and protecting cherished symbols.